Okay. Hello, guys. This is my review for Pet Sematary. I have just watched it a few hours ago, and my general thoughts on it are that it's pretty good. I enjoyed the characters. The dad was amazing. The little girl was just the creepiest little shit ever. The part when he was brushing her hair and you could see the zipper in the back of her head, or like the stitches in the back of her head, like just creeped me out so bad. I felt so uncomfortable the whole movie. There was a sense of dread just looming over it the entire time, and it was spectacular. The execution on everything is just amazing. The little boy was also not that good. He was pretty good. But like it's like a little 3-year-old boy, like who really cares? He doesn't matter to the story anyway. And I think the decision of making the girl die instead of the little boy was a much better choice, because in the old movie from 30 years ago, he could just talk fluent English just out of nowhere. But we never really saw him talk. Like he has like the vocabulary of like 10 words in the whole movie, and then he just like talks like an adult somehow. I don't know if in the, like, when you get buried, then you just get possessed by some other spirit. I guess that is a possibility, because that would explain how he knows how to talk so well. But it's still really weird, and he just wasn't that creepy, so completely supported the changes to this movie. Also, the mom's sister, the one with like all the bones, was much more prevalent in this movie than the old one, just because it was such a terrifying character. Like, just imagine for the rest of your life you're stuck laying down in your bed with nothing to do. You're just stuck there slowly dying and shriveling away, and the mom, who was the reason she died, just having her sister haunt her throughout the whole movie was just so terrifying. When the scenes when she would fall through the like the mini elevator thing, there were like 2 of them, and they were both pretty creepy. So, on to the actual movie. It starts up with this foreshadowing of the very, very end of the movie. After the rest of the family, besides the little boy, gets revived after they all killed each other. So he kept the little boy in the car. So he told him not to open up. So they all 3 came out at the very end of the movie, going to the car, and they opened it, and they killed him and dragged him into the house. Or at least that's what I thought happened, because in the movie there was a blood trail from the car into the house. So, foreshadowing at the very beginning of the movie, so you already know everyone's just gonna die. So, it's really just the dread. It sets up the rest of the movie pretty well, and then after that, we go to a looming shot of the house and the neighbor's house, the old man's house, is burning down. It's burning down to the ground, and they're about to burn down their own house. So then it does a time travel back in time. I'm guessing probably around 10 to 15 days. And we see them get into the house for the first time, and we already know what all their characters are like because they're actually written well this time. And so after the house scene, we go to the dad's doctor. He's a doctor at a college, and there's this boy at the college, and he gets run over by a car, and he has his head smashed in to the point where you can see his brain, and his arm is just destroyed, his face is destroyed, his leg is destroyed. He's just pummeled. He's bloodied everywhere, and it looks so disgusting. The effects are great, but it looks just so disgusting. And after he dies, then he haunts the dad for the rest of the movie. And so he just like kind of shows up every now and then with just him, and he's just it's really weird. It doesn't really matter that much. Like, his character, it doesn't matter. He's just kind of there to creep you out and like foreshadow, like, if you go up that mountain you're gonna die, or like, when you kill me you seal your fate, stuff like that. And it all ends up being true. I don't know why. He was just a college student, and then now he's just all of a sudden this freaking weirdo ghost guy who just wants to haunt him for no reason. Like, what did you expect the doctor to do? Why are you mad at him? You had your brain was exposed from the outside, and you expect him to fix it on his own? Who are you? Like, who do you think he is? Doctor Strange? Like, it's just really confusing. I don't know why he has a grudge on him. Doesn't make sense. But it still serves its purpose of being creepy. So that's the only flaw in this movie. Like, the only apparent flaw. It's just how the characters, besides the dad and the little girl, have almost no character at all. Well, I mean, besides the mom, I guess. But that's pretty much it. So then, after this scene, he goes to bed, and he, like, the ghost of the guy, he comes to their house and lures the dad out into the pet cemetery, and he shows him the Indian burial grounds, and like the Wendigo is there. It's like all these creepy noises. It's really cool. And then when he wakes up, it's Halloween, and he has to take his daughter to go trick-or-treating with her friends that she has somehow after being there for like 2 days. And then the old guy, he shows him that their cat got run over by one of those semi-trucks that also don't make any sense, because how are they silent until they just appear on the road? Like, it's like and then it just disappears. It's so dumb. Like, I don't understand why it does that. It's just jump scares. Cheap jump scare bullshit. Like, it's so sad too, because there's some genuine scary stuff, and then there's jump scares. were the producers so insecure that this movie would fail that they had to put in jump scares? I don't know why. It didn't need it. It didn't need it at all, and it almost ruined the experience of every genuinely creepy scene. There would be a creepy scene, and then it would be quiet for like 10 seconds, and then there would just be this loud-ass jump scare that didn't need to be there. And it's just really dumb. It's so dumb. Like, it really doesn't even matter. It doesn't need to be there. Why do they keep putting jump scares in movies? They aren't scary at all. We've been getting all of these jump scare movies for the past 8 years since Paranormal Activity popularized it. Whenever that movie came out, I'm pretty sure it was 8 years ago. And then now there's just jump scares because the executives at Hollywood are like, oh, if we put jump scares in the movie, it will do well. And then all these idiots that think that jump scares is horror are giving these talentless directors all of this money for jump scares. And they're just like, oh, well, it keeps working. Why don't we keep doing it? Why? Just why? It pains me, honestly, because the genuinely scary stuff almost makes no money. Okay. Back on track. So, after that, they take the cat to the pet cemetery, and then the old guy is like, you love your daughter, don't you? And your daughter loves your cat, didn't she? Let's take him up to the Indian burial ground and resurrect him. So then the cat comes back resurrected. It's all dirty, it's all bloody, it's all disgusting. They never gave it a bath, so it's just still all gross. Even though he's a doctor, he should have just been able to give him a bath and then stitch him up, and then he'd look like a normal cat. But no, he has to keep it the same and make it just look disgusting, which makes no sense. But I guess Indian burial grounds that resurrect stuff doesn't make any sense either, so whatever. But so the cat comes back and it scratches the little girl and she gets scared and she's like, what happened? So then she just cries for the rest of the movie. So then really almost nothing else happens until the birthday party. Well, now, we did have a scene where the mom was like having a flashback of her sister, and I guess that was kind of scary, but not really. Like, we just saw her in her bed, but it wasn't the actual part where it was genuinely scary when she just got out of her bed. But that doesn't matter. It was a pointless part of the movie. It didn't really add anything to it besides just creepy scenes, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it, but you know, now that I'm talking about it, this is not as good as the movie as I remember it being, but it's okay. And okay, so now it's the girl's birthday party. This is when it goes to just complete crazy mode. The daughter, they're like playing a game, and then the daughter sees the cat out on the road, and so she runs up to in the middle of the road, where she knows there are these speeding semi-truck drivers that you can't hear until they're right next to you. But she just decides it's a smart idea to go out into the middle of the road so she can see her cat. But okay, so she goes up to the cat, and then a truck driver who's like texting and driving. Well, no, he's looking at the road, and then he looks down at his phone for like 5 seconds so he can read a short little message that someone's calling you. And so right before he gets there, the little boy is also in the way. So you think to yourself, oh, the little boy's gonna die, and he's just gonna end up being a creepy little boy, and it's just gonna be exactly the same as last movie. But no, the dad snatches the boy up right in time, but then the semi-truck driver swerves out of the way, and his luggage, it pops off and runs into the little girl and kills her. So you're probably asking, how does the luggage of a semi-truck fall off? You look at semi-truck crashes and it doesn't even fall off. It doesn't even fall off when they flip over. So why does swerving make it fall off? And I was thinking the same thing. Nothing makes sense in this movie. It's just like, it's okay. It's an okay movie. And after this scene, we see like they're at the funeral of the little girl, and the mom and the boy go visit her parents at the same house where their daughter died. Like, you would think after something that traumatizing you would move out after like 20 years, but I guess not. And so we goes to, so we get to see the part when her sister actually died. It was a flashback when she was an actual little kid and not just a vision. And there's like this chute thing, like, you know, like the laundry chute in Home Alone. It's basically that, but an elevator. Like, you can send stuff up to her room from the kitchen. So the sister goes and puts her dinner in that little elevator and tries to send it up to her sister, but since her sister can't walk, she stumbles over and like trips into the elevator, and the elevator breaks and her food falls, and then her sister slips down onto the food and just dies there. So then that's where her like flashbacks and stuff happen. So then we get to see her like driving back from the house, and while she's driving back, it's nighttime where the house is, and the dad is drinking with the old guy, and he drugs his whiskey with like some sleep drugs, and he drinks it and then like just passes out pretty much immediately, even though he only took like 2 or 3 sips. Like, if he drank that whole thing, he would have died. I don't know why he just put so much in there, but it's whatever. And so after he puts him to sleep, he drives over to his daughter's grave, digs her body up, and then sends her to the takes her over to the burial grounds. And while he's walking there, he sees the Wendigo. Like, they talked about the Wendigo. If you don't know what a Wendigo is, it's this really cool Native American myth, and they referenced it in the last movie, and in the trailers it looked like they were probably gonna have more of the Wendigo in it because of those and it also looked like they were gonna be like those kids with the drums and stuff going to the cemetery. I thought for sure they were gonna have the rest of those guys kill the family, but I guess not. So just the trailers didn't even matter. Almost nothing. Like there were tons of scenes in the movie, the trailer that never happened, which was disappointing because a lot of the things looked really cool, but it's whatever. So he buries his daughter, and so while he's burying his daughter, he walks back to the house and falls asleep, and then he hears the door open and sees his daughter and like in the basement, and her like eye is drooping. She has like blood on her face. She has the stitches in the back of her head, stuff like that, just messed up hair. And so after that, he gives her a bath. She still looks really creepy though, and then they go to sleep. When he wakes up, so does the old guy, and the mom and son come back from her parents' house, and then they see the daughter, and everyone's just like really creeped out. Yeah. Okay, so they see the daughter, and then he like no. Okay, so before they see the daughter goes over to the old guy's house and kills him. Like she stabbed him at the bottom of the foot, like an inch above where his ankle is, and then cuts it off completely, and then his leg, like his foot, rips off and falls down the stairs, and then she turns into his dead wife. So now she has shape-shifting abilities. Like, this one's a lot weirder than the old one, but so now the little girl, after she kills the old guy, she comes back to the house, and then the mom and the son come back and see her, and then she like tries to hug her, but the mom tries to get away. So then the mom takes the son upstairs and locks the door on her. So she runs upstairs, and then the daughter stabs the mom, and she's about to bleed out, so she runs out to her room, and then locks the door, and then barricades it, and then drops her son down to the dad after he went to the old guy's house to go look for him. And after he sees he's dead, then he's like, oh shit, the rest of my family's in danger. I should have put my family first instead of just some random stranger I met a few days ago. But okay, so then after that, he goes back to the house, and then so then the mom drops the kid down to the dad, where he puts the kid in the car and locks the door. This is connecting back to the foreshadowing part I talked about at the beginning. So he goes back inside, and then looks for the mom, but the mom is getting dragged out the back by the daughter, so he chases the daughter down into the pet cemetery, where she stabs him, and then the dad's about to choke her out. But then, so yeah, the dad's about to choke her out, but then the mom stabs him through the back because she says she died. She got resurrected in the burial grounds. And so then they went to go put his dad back, and so then they're all resurrected now. They're going back to the kid. They're going back to the little boy, and then the movie just ends there. And the ending was pretty cool, like, since we've already seen it at the very beginning. So I thought that was pretty cool, since like the first half hour or so was relatively lighthearted. It still had that creepy feeling, but since they were only jump scares, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. So, good movie. Creepy. Pretty good characters, and a really good soundtrack. It had a really good soundtrack, even though in almost every scene that was trying to be scary, there really was no soundtrack. Like, it was just the sound effects and the heavy breathing, which I thought added a lot more tension to the scenes, instead of just a lot of horror movies when they have that shitty stock music where it just goes dun 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 dun. Like, it didn't bother wasting its time with that. It actually did something new and original. I wouldn't say original, but it was still definitely a breath of fresh air compared to the rest of these movies that I've seen recently. So, would I recommend this movie to anybody? No, I wouldn't. I would recommend this movie to people who like horror movies that aren't just jump scare schlock. But the people who are horror movie fans, I'll put that in quotation marks, and just watch like the shitty movies like The Nun and Annabelle and stuff like that, which is just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. They're like, oh my god, it was so scary, dude. It was so scary. It was so good. Like, shut up. You know it wasn't scary. It's just your first horror movie, like, obviously. So, after this, I'll give this movie a 7 out of 10. Just mainly because of how, I wouldn't say original. It's a Stephen King movie. You can definitely tell it's a Stephen King movie, but that's also a compliment. So I'll give it that. It's one of the better horror movies I've seen this year. Definitely nowhere near as good as Us, but still good. It's still a good movie. I'm done with the review. This has gone on for way too long. A half-hour long review. While I was recording this, it did not feel like a half-hour long movie, half-hour long review. But it doesn't matter, because people who sat through this, I love you. And that's pretty much my review. My review's done. I'm done. I don't feel like doing this anymore. Gave it a 7 out of 10. I reviewed it. I basically spoiled the whole movie for anybody, so I'm gonna put a spoiler tag in it. Not clickbait, gone sexual, stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm done. Bye.